Hey guys, this is Bladebow Quest, and this is part 2 of the Money Mastery series. So the last part was so long I had to break it up into 2 videos, so if you haven't seen that, just click below and we'll get you started, if you haven't seen both parts of part 1, as strange as that is. But this is going to be on passive income. The last one was active income, 20 different ways to make 1 to 3 million silver an hour when you're off there working for it. There are rare opportunities that you can make 4 to 7 million an hour. This time, it's going to be all about how you can continuously fill your account with more money. So passive income from the Node Empire, as well as specialty goods, investment banks. You can see my entire system. So let's get started. And here we go. All right, so first thing I want to say is we're going to focus today on passive and annuity. Slight difference, but mostly the same things if you've never heard those words before. Passive income is going to be generated over time. You have to do a couple initial setup work, but then they're just going to keep coming in. Annuity, very similar to passive income. That's basically a lump sum of money that gets paid to you for your entire life, essentially. So again, passive and annuity are fairly similar. All right, guys, so let's take a look. So with my passive income empire, I have 10 different gathering nodes. I have 11 investment banks, and I have anywhere between 8 and 12 things being manufactured. If I covered all manufacturing, because of how complex it is, we could be here for an hour, so that is going to be the next category of the Money Mastery series. So let me go over these nodes. This is really what's important for you guys. So south of Calpheon, I've connected all the way down through here to the Bear Riverhead. So the reason I have the Bear Riverhead, it's only 10 ore. That's really not that valuable on its own. What we want is the powder of earth. So these are typically about 10,000 a piece. Very, very nice. I can actually do an entire node system here with this worker in about 36 minutes. So on average, that's about 40 of those a day. Now I get anywhere from 0 to 5 powders of earth. Again, they're about 10k each. So on average, what I've found is I get roughly 1 per cycle. Like I said, sometimes I get 5. So just for the intent of you guys understanding the type of money you can get, I'm going to go ahead and just assume that I'm getting 1 each time. With a professional human, that's pretty accurate. And so what that means is if I'm getting 40 of those in 24 hours, that's 400,000. So one particular node brings you all the way down here, and that increases my net worth every day by 400,000. Doesn't include any of the 10 ore, and the reason I don't include that is just, again, to use ballpark averages. You guys can definitely math this into oblivion, mapping out what your average 10 ore is, and then how much the cost of beer is, and things like that. I'm basically, just for the intents of this video, assuming that beer and then the natural resource kind of cancels itself out. So this is roughly about 400,000 a day of net income. Now, that's net worth, actually. So if you are selling those, then of course you're taking the 35% loss on the marketplace. But since I use these for additional products, I can just assume that is net worth. The next one you're going to want is only 1 point. This thing right here. So what this is going to do is give you fur sap. Fur sap is a pretty valuable resource. You can, let's see, what do we have any stockpiled? Yeah. So it's about 2,000 each, which is not bad. And then again, if I'm getting this, so it takes about 19 minutes for me to do it, which means I can do it over 75 times in a day. And that is about 144,000 net worth coming in. Okay, so with the release of the Road to Valencia, you'll probably want to pick up Berniato's farm. The reason for that is because of Trace of Forest, which is used in gathering costumes. As of this morning, all of these have been sold out of the marketplace. So that is probably a good one. I'm not sure if I'll pick it up just because I'm pretty heavy into manufacturing, but that's definitely one that you guys should know about and consider. Moving over to the east, I do have this one down here. This is for mud crystals. Mostly, this is not that profitable. You probably won't want it. I'm using it to manufacture steel Tartus armor, and so I need the mud crystals. But the thing to note is that it is done in about 12 minutes. So if you can throw a human on it, I only have this artisan goblin. But if you have a human there, they have a higher chance of getting that secondary material. They're worth anywhere from 500 to 1,000. Honestly, barely covers the beer. So you probably won't need this, but I do want to show you that I have it. Over here by Heidel, now this is an incredibly important one for you guys. So this is Lynch Farm Ruins, and what you want to do is invest the contribution in the main area, then go and talk to the node manager. He's going to tell you some crazy battle about how a bunch of chipmunks ran off the local squirrels or something. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. You don't care. But what's important is that it opens up this next node to the Altar Imp Broken Trumpets, and you actually want to start excavating those things. Now, why do you want that? Because you're actually going to get something called Trace of Savagery, which is probably the most important crafting material in the game. It's so good. Now, anytime I get my hands on this, I can turn it into 40,000 silver. So I use alchemy, and then I turn the alchemy product into something else through processing, and then I turn that into crafting. You could just make bloods from it with alchemy and then sell it as is. Either way, this is very, very important. Now, this is a pretty long cycle, this Lynch Farm Ruins. Let's see, what is this going to take? It's going to take about 146 minutes for this professional human here. So that means I can only do it about 10 times in a day. But this is 2 contribution points, which is great. And because it does take so long and give you things that are so valuable, the beer cost is very low as well. So this particular node will probably increase my account by about 150,000 in a day. So moving over to the east, now this is pretty good stuff over here. These are very important nodes. These are the Medina Northern Highlands. What's nice about both of these, and I'm connected through Heidel just because I have most of my Altanova workers are manufacturing, so they're busy. So I'm connecting it through Heidel. I think it's a little bit quicker. If you're connected through Velia, something I learned from Moreland TV, if you're connected through Velia and you have a worker go to this node from Velia, it'll actually go the shortest distance, not your node connection. But I'm not connected through Velia, so it doesn't matter to me. Okay, so over here, what's nice about this is that both of these nodes are going to give you old tree bark. Now, a lot of people don't know that. They think only the white cedar timber here gives old tree bark, but it's actually both of them. In addition to that, this maple timber will give you maple sap. So these are incredibly good. And then the other one, the white cedar timber, this one takes a little bit longer. This is about 41 minutes. And again, we're averaging, we're assuming that we're getting one of these rare items per cycle. I've done this for a long time. Like I said, you can get between 0 and 5, but on average, it does seem like it's 1, if not more than 1 per cycle on average. So this white cedar one actually will give me, let's see, this is about 333,000. And these numbers aren't too important to you. I just want you to understand the ballpark figures of why you want these things. Now real quick, you can see I do have quite a few artisans. It's important to know which type of worker to use where. So like these first 2 areas, this is all about getting that secondary. So that's important. You want to use humans on both of these. You want to use humans on Lynch Farm Ruins, but honestly goblins can do it about half the speed. And if your goblin's luck is pretty up there, then you might want to consider using a goblin. Like I have one goblin that has Blessed Hands, which is essentially it's a worker skill that lets him gain 0.2 luck per level. So my goblin's luck is almost 14. Humans can be, 19, 20, something like that. If your goblin's luck is a lot more than half of the humans, but it's half the work speed, you might want to consider using a goblin. So it's not always you need humans every single time. For both of these, since we want the secondary material, this is definitely going to be humans, and the next node I have over here is Stonetail Wasteland. Okay, so this is acacia timber. I'm actually doing it for the acacia timber and not for the secondary. You do get bloody tree knots, I think it is, which is pretty nice. It's not bad. It's worth a couple thousand, maybe 3,000 at the most. But really, what I want here is the timber itself. Up until I think even yesterday, this was worth about 400 to 500 each timber. So you can stockpile that wherever it is, and then turn that into planks if you want, turn it into plywood, and eventually if you want to do crates. I never do the crates, but you can. And so old tree bark, you can see on average is worth either between 7 and 10,000. This is so important because it's needed for grade 3 armor crafting. So again, you want to use a goblin here, so that's important to know. So my last 3 nodes are over here. This is the Omar Lava Cave, pretty important. You don't want the coal one because that gives you rubies. Those aren't worth that much, maybe 1,500. Zinc, definitely though. The reason you want zinc, it gives you Powder of Time, which is okay. Those are worth maybe 1,000 on average. You can get several of them at a time. But the big hitter here is platinum ore. So these are worth about 9,500. So pretty significant to have these node systems. I'm going to show you in a second how about 50 contribution is the equivalent of having over 400 million silver invested. So you really want to try to get these things set up. Even if you're just a grinder, if you're just a PvPer, if it's whatever, have this coming in so long term you can get those extra Mark of Shadows and everything that you need. Okay, so abandoned iron mines, very, very, very important. Probably the most important node in the game, I think. And it's for both of these items. This is the zinc ore. You're going to want a human on this as well for the same reason as the Omar Lava Cave. This is going to give you platinum, which, very, very important. The best use of platinum is if you have decent processing. turn the platinum ore into platinum shards, sell those for an even bigger profit. So those are used in grade 3 armor upgrades as well, and pretty good. Okay, so the next one is the abandoned iron mine, and iron. You're actually going for iron here. Now what this is going to do is give you these rough black crystals, these guys right here, which again you can process into the next level up, which is worth even more, but honestly just selling them as is fine, or process them and then turn them into grade 3 upgrade kits, turn them into Gurnal armor, anything like that. So those are the 10 nodes that I have. Now let's see. So if I can do this iron mine. I've got my little notes here. I can do this iron mine about 37 times in a day. It takes about 39 minutes per cycle. You just want to keep this running. So this is going to be about 330,000 based off of current market prices. And then that zinc ore right below it. I guess it takes so much longer that it isn't even as valuable as this. So this one is probably the priority if you can only get one. And this one takes me about an hour and 18 minutes with my guys. So I can do it about 18 and a half times in a day, bringing in about 194,000 profit. I think it's about 45 contribution or so. We'll get the exact numbers here in a second. But with about 45 contribution, my net worth is going up by 2.62 million in a day. Now that's the net worth coming in. It is going to take me 471 work orders to do that. So assuming 1,000 per beer that you have to spend, obviously, you can make it if you want to cut your costs, and that's in a different video. But that's essentially going to be basically 2 million extra per 24 hours. So not too bad, right? All I have to do is hit recover all, confirm, and then repeat all. And just do that every few hours while you're playing, and then make sure that you've topped off everybody before you go to sleep. If you have to spend 8 to 10 hours or longer where you just can't access the game, you might want to consider giants for a couple things. I'll have a guide here eventually showing you, how exactly to get the workers and when to use each one specifically. But giants essentially are just going to have more stamina. You're going to have much lower luck. But if you have a worker that can only, like a human worker, that can only work for 4 hours in a row because of whatever it is that you're choosing, and you're going to be gone for 18 hours, you might want to have a giant that could do the entire 18 hours. You might come out ahead. But I do have 10 artisan workers, and I have 10 professional workers that will, of course, increase the numbers that I have. For you guys, you just want to use the best workers you can get. So there is a way to get named workers. I don't use any of them because I like to promote all the way through the ranks, and then hopefully get an artisan where they can get the ability to craft 4 things at a row, or at a time. By the way, in case you're curious, it does consume 4 ingredients at a time. So not just one set of ingredients and then everything else is free. Some people think that. So you can use your named workers just by Googling Black Desert Online named workers should help you. You can basically go to these farms, talk to the manager, get Amity, and then you can hire these. And I think they're yellow workers to start off. So that's not a horrible way to do it. I hate the Amity game, so I'll never do that. Alright guys, so that is the node system part of my passive income empire. It costs a total, I double checked it, 47 contribution, so really not bad considering 40 contribution or 47 contribution is going to give you over 2 million net worth every day, including costs. Now if you have a ton of contribution, real quick, let me just mention a couple others that I like. This is a nice one right here, so going up through Trent and then over to the tree-knot forest, it's going to give you bloody tree knots. That's really not too bad. It's about 7 contribution. Up from Keplen, you can go up and mine some coal. Okay, don't panic though, guys, but you could mine some coal if you wanted. This is going to give Powder of Crevice. This is only 2 contribution points, which is always good. Let's see here, somewhere around the, I think it's this. Yeah, okay. So down by the Serenity Shrine, you can get the pine timber. This is going to give pine sap as well, and monk's branches. Honestly, that's quite nice. It's going to be decent cost, but if you're going through with mud crystals like me, that really isn't too bad. So this is only if you have a giant surplus of contribution. Another one is down here from Velia. You'd want to connect all of these down to the ancient stone chamber. This is going to be acquired the exact same way as the Lynch Farm ruins. You have to invest for the first part in the main node, and then talk to him again, spend 35 energy, tell you some stupid story, who cares, and then you're going to be able to go and excavate these old tree spirit tokens. This is going to give traces of earth, which are worth about 9,000. It takes about 2 to 3 hours to finish this and takes 7 contribution. Not amazing, but at the same time, if you have the contribution, you want more passive income, you can definitely do that. And for the most part, I think that's basically all you're going to want in Madaya. And then of course you can always expand, get birch and tin and lead and everything else if you just want to acquire tons and tons of things for hoarding purposes, I guess. And then also, just real quick, a decent one, I forgot about this. This is the Lynch Ranch, so you can get fleece. This is pretty valuable considering how many of them you can get at a time. You can get 25, sometimes even more than that. And if fleece is about 700 each, that's not a bad way to go. But ultimately, it's basically all you're going to need for the node system. So that might be as far as you guys take this video. Let me show you the rest of what I've got working. You can see my manufacturing. I've got plenty of things going on. It's so complex though that we're just going to leave that for another video. You can see this has already been long enough. But with passive income, or more like annuity, for example, the other ones are just bringing in net worth, right? This is actually going to give me silver every single day. So these are investment banks. I already have a guide showing you all the investment banks, how to get them. I'll show you another guide on how to get a rank 1 house in order to get those banks, all of those things. But bottom line is 1G represents 100,000 silver. So this bank is 200 million silver. This bank is 10 million silver. This bank is 30 million silver. And this bank is 50 million silver. So in Altanova alone, I have 290 million silver converted into gold ingots. Those ingots stay in my storage, and what you do is you actually have a worker go and work them. If you do the guaranteed capital, you cannot lose your money, so you want to use goblins. They run them very quickly. And then if you do the high yield, like this is a high yield, high risk, 50 million, which you can definitely lose a decent amount of money. I have made more than 10 million on a single cycle of this bank using an artisan human. It's a pretty high level node. This is level 6 node, but bottom line is the most I've lost there is about 5 million. So not bad. This is 290 million silver working for me. The other banks that I use are the 700,000 in Heidel, the 2 million in Heidel. I use 300,000 in Velia just to keep this artisan goblin leveling up. I want to make sure that I get all the right skills that I need. And then over in Calphion, I have all 4 of these banks as well. This is 1 million. You can see the 1G. This is 4 million right here. So, and then that's a 20 million. This is guaranteed, and the final one, 100 million. So my account actually has 418 million silver converted into gold ingots in the storage, which workers are then working for me. So I don't want to make this video any more complex than it needs to be, but some of you guys might be wondering how and why I came up with the numbers that I did. So I explained how I averaged what price you would be getting from the nodes, things like that. It's very, very ballpark. I didn't take the time to map out. I know exactly how many cycles I can do in a day. I didn't map out, okay, I'm getting 7 10 ore now, I'm getting 14 10 ore. What was my exact cost of beer? I just didn't do that. I'm basically averaging what are the rare nodes that I'm getting on average, how much they're worth, and then taking it from there. So that's how I came up with the node empire, bringing in 2.62 million a day. And then with the cost of beer, it's going to take 471 beer in a day to maintain that. But you guys can use the numbers until you're blue in the face, but I'm just not that interested. Banking, however, I have taken pretty intricate records. I've done this all live streamed to make sure that it was accurate. And let me tell you, when you're in front of 500 people and you add a 0, you find out. So I'm 100% sure that all of these numbers are correct. I've been keeping this data since my last investment banking video over a month ago. So just right here, ballpark figures. I just want to show you some quick things. So the 300,000 investment in Velia, this is going to give you a 4.4 return on investment. Your 200 million investment bank is going to give you a 0.09% return on investment. This should be really encouraging for you guys, because a lot of you probably thought, I don't have 420 million. What am I supposed to do? I can't invest that. Well, look, I'm getting less than 0.1% of a return on my 200 million investment bank. This is only over a few trials. I haven't had it that long. But you can see 4.4% on the 300,000, 3% on the 700,000, less than 0.5% on the 20 million, less than 1/3% on the 30 million, less than, or we don't even need less than, just exactly 0.13% back on the 100 million, and then even less than that on the 200 million. So this is good because this shows that investment banking is very friendly to the not rich people. It doesn't really just cater to the people that have too much money, so don't worry about it. But here's what I want to show you. So having a total of 418 million silver invested, I'm making 381,000 silver per day on average using the guaranteed yields, and then here's my other one, which is 1.3 million per day on the high yields. So with both banks combined, I'm basically getting around 1.5 to 1.6 million or so a day, and then it does fluctuate, absolutely. But that should be encouraging because that shows you right here, I've shown you that with 47 contribution points, you can make more than I can make with 418 million silver. So if you want passive income, don't kill yourself for investment banking. It is useful, but it is not the end-all be-all. Go off, do some more contribution routes, and then just have an extra node system working, or of course getting to manufacturing, but that isn't really passive income anymore. The last thing I want to mention is that if you have a rank 1 house in a major city, then yes, you get investment banking. If you have a rank 1 house in an off city, like Bear, then you actually don't get investment banking, you get specialty goods. So here in Bear, for example, if I had a rank 1 house here, I would be able to get a free Calpheon Timber Crate once a day on average. I've never actually set it up, so I don't know the exact times on it, but that is not bad. You know, you'd have to send a worker over and have it just make this thing, just like the same way you do investment banking. So that should be a really good alternative for people that just don't have the silver and still want to have specialty goods. And every city is like that, every farm, so you can kind of just shop around and figure out where it is that you want to go. But again, that is the bottom line. That video is so long I have to shave again, but we made it through it. And if people tell you what's the too long didn't watch version, just tell them you're staying poor, sucker. Ah, much better, much better. Okay, so good stuff, guys. That is my passive income guide. I showed you 10 different nodes that I use. Only 47 contribution, not too bad. Over 2 million a day after the cost of beer. So if you're playing this game for a year, you're looking at something like 600 million coming into your account. Now, of course, the market values or things are going to change. I used to change these nodes probably at least once a week, and you basically just want to figure out where the things are that are interesting, watch the market prices, and then change it accordingly. But this is a huge amount of wealth coming in. Don't be discouraged by the gear grind that's out there. This game is amazing, and if you want to be the best, you got to use the system that they're giving you. So they put the end game into the beginning game, and they basically gave us almost impossible to acquire gear. Plus 20s are coming out pretty dang soon, right? So it's not the kind of game where every 6 months, hey, we have 5 more levels we can get. And I prefer it this way. Set up your empire, know what you're doing, and you're definitely going to be in great shape. So that was passive income. We've already covered active income, how to make all sorts of money instantly, basically. And this is passive income. The next one is going to be on manufacturing. So this is still only one episode of the whole Money Mastery series. And we got at least 3 more episodes coming. So we got manufacturing coming up next. After that, it's microsecond millions, ways to make huge amounts of money very, very quickly as long as you know your rare opportunities that don't come up all the time. And then long-term investing. So I hope you guys had a good time. Hope this is going to give you exactly what you need. So one other thing that's pretty dang important, probably should have put it in the very beginning of the video. If you're a brand new player, you have no idea what the heck any of this means. Every city has a work supervisor. You go up, you talk to them, you spend your energy, that's how you get your worker, and then you right-click the node on the map, and that'll take you to the node manager, you talk to him, and then you invest your contribution points in order to do that. So just in case you stuck with me and you have no clue what's happening, that I should probably throw into this video as well, otherwise none of it is possible unless you understand that. But people always ask, how exactly did I get over $1 billion net worth? I usually tell them I have about 35 different sources of income every day. And today you learned 21 of those. So stay tuned to the next video, guys. I'd love to earn your subscription on this one. And I will see you guys on the live stream, twitch.tv/BladeBowQuest. Have a good one.